Hello everyone, my name is M.D Welch and I want to introduce you to a new series of classes I am teaching at Action Camera. We're doing these classes in person, no Zoom, and we are teaching Adobe Lightroom Classic, and we've broken this very powerful program up into 3 different class sections. And I want to introduce you to these class sections, let you know who this class is for, what each section goes into, and also very important that we're teaching Adobe Lightroom Classic. We are not teaching Adobe Lightroom in these 3 classes. We will have classes on Adobe Lightroom, but we're only doing this video on our Adobe Lightroom Classic series. Now, the first class is designed to get people up and running with this program. So if you have no experience with Adobe Lightroom Classic, you've never used this application before, or you have used this application but you're struggling with it, this is a great place to start. We're focusing on the library module in this course, which is really all about importing images, getting images and video, if you are working with video, into the actual program. So we talk about importing not only from the computer, but from the camera. We talk about all these different importing presets and all of the options here, what is best for your particular workflow. And in class, we will customize and help you customize your workflow as well. Once we import images into the program, we will then start talking about the best ways to categorize them using things like star ratings and color ratings. We'll get into keywording, talking about the best ways and how it's going to help you out in the long run with finding your images later on. We're also going to talk about the basic interface controls, obviously, getting into the image, being able to zoom in, zoom out, go into full screen mode, being able to customize this interface a little bit as well. We'll get into other sections like being able to rename the photos so you're not stuck with, preset names out of the camera and you could customize your own naming. And we'll also talk about deleting images from this particular program, as well as the biggest issue, working with the actual Adobe Lightroom catalog, what it is, how it's going to function, and how it's going to play a role in your editing. Again, ideal place to start for those with no experience with this program, or for those people who are still struggling with the catalog and getting organized in this very powerful application. The next class in the series is all about image development, making your images look better, brightening them up, enhancing contrast, enhancing color, using the crop tool. All of this technology is found in the Develop module of Adobe Lightroom Classic, and we get into all of it. The interface explanation, how to use these particular tools and leveraging them, going from something that looks like this to something that looks like this. We'll also talk about leveraging other technologies inside of Lightroom Classic, the ability to do something called virtual copies, where you could have multiple versions of an image, but only have one file on your computer. We'll also talk about leveraging white balance control and customizing your white balance by using color checkers or in-camera reference. We'll also talk about converting images into black and white and also applying sepia tone or other types of color grading enhancements to both color and black and white images. We'll also talk about very important issues when shooting with the camera. How much information or how much exposure can you leverage in an image and bring back detail in the image so any image that's maybe over or underexposed can actually end up with a proper exposure. We'll see where this technology could be leveraged, not only in camera, but in post-production. And obviously talking about RAW versus JPEG and the pros and cons of shooting and editing those formats. The last class in our series is all about local editing or local adjustments inside of Adobe Lightroom Classic. This gets into different tools like the retouching tool, being able to remove objects from a frame that you don't want to, seeing how powerful the editing functions are and how they're non-destructive, and you could go back at any time and undo a particular edit or go in a completely different direction. We also get into a new technology called masking inside of Lightroom Classic. And this is a great course for students who already have experience with Adobe Lightroom Classic, but maybe haven't brushed up on the new features in the last year or two. The ability for this program to automatically select a subject, be able to just work with that subject so we could brighten the subject up, we could add to the subject, or we could add to the actual masking of this by being able to make more realistic possibilities here. This starts to open up a whole new world of editing. It also starts to make Lightroom Classic maybe the only program that you're going to edit with. And again, these are relatively new technologies, so this is a great course for those of you who already do have Lightroom Classic experience, but are looking just to elevate your work and actually get the most out of these new functions and tools. For more information on these classes or registering for these classes, please go to actioncamera.com, and at the top of the screen, go to the Reno tab and select classes from the menu. You will see that we offer these classes several times throughout the year. You can take them in any order that you want to. However, if you're brand new with the program, please start with the introduction to the course. This is a great place to start. If you already have experience with the program and you're looking to get more out of your image developing, there you have the image developing class available. And of course, if you already have experience in both areas, but you're looking for those latest tips and tricks and the tools that have been recently introduced with Adobe Lightroom Classic, please take a look at Advanced Image Developing inside of Adobe Lightroom Classic. Seating is limited for these courses, so please register as soon as possible. They are hands-on, so you're required to bring a laptop to this class with Adobe Lightroom Classic already installed on the computer before the start. I look forward to seeing you in class, and I wish you all the best. Take care.